Okay, as you saw on my post, and there's going to be a little bit of a past video. I don't have time to do YouTuber kind of stuff. But the key thing is, hey, I took a project, 4-dimension printing. I'll explain what that means. Okay, but there's a project that was way above my head. That meant that I was going to really screw it up. And everybody has found themselves, be it in this level of really technical stuff, or be it in other areas where it might be accounting. It doesn't matter. It's a level of technicality that's above your current skill set. I think the key learning here, I'll explain a little bit later, but it's how you confront that. Okay, let me share a little bit my screen to explain the level of the challenge first. Okay, this is the MIT lab, self-assembly lab. What do they work on? 4-dimensional printing. Everybody knows 3D printing, X, Y, Z. What is the difference from traditional industrial kind of processes is that you're digitalizing the process. Instead of you're using software to calculate steps that would not be realizable by physical industrial kind of process. And you can go to a level of detail that is impossible another way. What is 4-dimensional printing? Break your mind, okay? Explode is basically forms or shapes that change with time. So it's the 3 dimensions plus some circumstances that generate. How is this done? At the beginning, I had no idea. I had no idea what I was doing. Okay, I had barely heard about 4-dimensional printing. I looked at the MIT lab, I looked at a bunch of stuff, and I was telling them, and my colleague, like, man, this is really beyond what I've ever done. I'm an expert in 3-dimensional printing, but this is much more experimental. Well, at that time, Audi wanted to explore. Audi was exploring. Obviously, there were 2 areas of development. There still are in terms of getting the cars or vehicles to become smarter. One is through pure technology, becoming, let's call them phones on wheels. And the second one is changing the material science behind those parts. Then, when I was looking into this, that was a major challenge. I really didn't know. And the interesting part is the evolution of this. Okay, for me, the key challenge here that you can see is I was working with very technical people. Okay, I was actually having to engage with PhDs. There's where the people on this side of the table. Okay, people who are specialized, know absolutely everything. Or, for example, when we started to, but we then realized we needed external parties that, okay, there's a lot of technical knowledge, but this is an experimental area, so you need to go beyond. So then we started engaging with Professor Ramses Martinez, for example, who worked in MIT, and look at this part. It's a mini robot. It's a part that reacts to some pressure, and it acts like a robot. Or Professor Xiaofeng Yang, or Professor Ling Ning Yao. Well, it doesn't matter. I'm pronouncing the names incorrectly. We had to engage. We had to partner. We had to reach out to all these people and try to understand and make the picture bigger. Why? Because it was getting incredibly complicated. How did this work? Look, I'll summarize a little bit at the end. What are the learnings for me? Okay, but I think that the important part, or where it's interesting, is look, when we started, this was the first slide we created. Okay, we were trying to explain this to other people, saying, okay, and from the super complex technical background of the PhDs, how do I explain what is happening? Hey, there's a smart material that at the same time, it's a 3D printed material, but this will react. Okay, we'll have a smart structure, and a stimulus will generate a dynamic, or they call it a smart dynamic structure, something that changes. Okay, and we tried to explain it, and then we had different stimuli, and this wasn't like this. There was nowhere where this was written down. Okay, this is the important thing of saying you're in a world of complexity. You have a bunch of really smart technical people who are giving you all this information, but they focus on their own stuff. They don't really think about the big picture. That's your role. Okay, I think that's always going to be absolutely essential. If you have project management capabilities, this is going to have an enormous impact. For example, this slide, horrendous. I hate it. So ugly. Okay, I love beautiful slide. There is where we started to break down. I started to say, okay, which are the bigger impact ones? You see the size of the bubble, and you can say mechanical property change, shape change, and self-folding. Where are the areas that we're going to focus? And then we started to go dig deep into examples. We were lost at this point. Okay. Okay, you can see all the different elements of what's happening, the different mechanical kind of properties, but we were completely lost. Why were we lost? And you can see a little bit the evolution of this, okay? That at a certain point, apologies, I want to go to the slide. Oh, my apologies. To explain a little bit how we all here. Sorry, here's the one. Apologies, I'm shooting this as we go. Here is when this was more at the end. We really understood through the content discussion with my colleagues, okay, what was actually, there was two parts to four-dimensional printing: intelligent designs and smart materials. Smart materials, much more complex. Basically, what we told Audi is like, look, if you really try to go this, and we're talking about really 10-year development cycles. There's some professor, for example, in Japan that created this bubble car, exceptional, but intelligent design made much more sense. This is where, let's say, computing is the key, where you can calculate how the structures will react to different conditions without having to create new materials, which is incredibly complex. Okay, so this is just to show you a little bit the evolution from being completely lost here. Okay, that was just, we were putting slides and we were showing Audi. At least the good thing is the client was also learning with us. Okay, and I think the key insights around this, or at least what I want to bring up, is saying, hey, faced versus a massive challenge, you don't know exactly what you're going to be doing, but the key thing is that embrace your curiousness. This is going to be key. Look, this is going to be, you need to be humble. You're very smart in one area. There's someone that's very smart in another area, but you're the connector. You're connecting geek to Greek. Okay, Greek to geek to Greek. Yeah, you're connecting, you're translating, you're bridging technical to impact. Okay, it related to the why. Why is this valuable? This is the key thing that I was doing, and anybody can do. You just have to have very clear picture, because in most organizations, there's a bunch of people doing different things, technical or non-technical. If you can connect it and generate an outcome that is more valuable than the sum of the units, that's the impact. And I think that's the interesting part of feeling incredibly challenged, but delivering on that. I hope this was helpful.